Hi, everybody. Let's make sure all the platforms are up and running. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, as it were, on this beautiful Thursday. So much has happened in the past couple weeks, and yesterday we had two shows back to back, and it feels like it's been fast and dynamic, and there were things that didn't share with everyone. So we wanted to take this opportunity or I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of recap because in reflection to everything that we have done, Peter and I, or that I have done. Uh, this morning was quiet, and in quiet, we can reflect, we can get into alignment and align with our intentions. So, Peter and I both take time out to meditate in the morning to set the tone of what we will do for going forward throughout the day. How will we move? How will we interact? What we speak? We know we have to set the tone with us in order to be right for everyone we interact with throughout the day. So, that being said, we meditated independently and then we had a recap phone call. And the reflections were like, so in my head, like in bullet points. All right. So, bullet point number one, thank you to everyone who is watching us, taking part in what we're creating. We can see the expansion taking place, and we just appreciate you so much. We started this podcast on May 26th, and we're almost to July 26th, and it feels like it's been 5 seconds, just like whoosh. And a lot's happened. We started Cosmic Tea Hour, and then we started working more with Grizzly, and then we just got invited to go do Soul Searcher with Joanne McNally, and then Joanna McNally, and now we're being asked to be interviewed on The Broom, and it's all moving fast. So thank you everyone for your participation and you being part of everything. So after that moment of gratitude, our reflection is like, so last night we only had an hour with two really amazing women. First that we interviewed was Elaine Thompson. She's a really phenomenal artist, award-winning, really dynamic life, very powerful person. And I'm grateful to work with her on July 27th at the Art in the Park event. And it was more than I had even hoped for that she shared with us. I knew certain things about her, but she just opened the whole can and dumped it out right in the middle of the podcast. And it was awesome to see like how her life had shaped her to who she was and how dynamic she is, uh, or is. And then with Angela Ford, there wasn't enough hour in the hour. Even if we just gave a whole hour to Angela, it would not be enough to explore her experience. And one of the takeaways that Peter and I had said is Angela has the kind of richness, the kind of life experience that lends itself to so many other avenues. Being a part of the US government for so long, taking part in the psychic programs in the US government. People have different opinions about psychics. Different psychics have different capabilities, whether you're a medium, an intuitive, a psychic, whatever gifts you have. It's such a big world, and there's so much potentiality that it's a big subject to explore, and it's not just a subject, it's a life, it's our life, it's the truth of our life, the root of our life, the authenticity of our life. We are, no matter how physical we are at any point in time, we are always a spirit, a soul having a human experience. So, you know, her experience with gifts, and especially being able to say, okay, well, the US government explored these things and found that these things were real, and they actually participated in us being able to win wars, to win, to remedy the Cold War and come to a solution. I mean, psychics are real, and people have very real gifts. There is a whole smorgasbord of people out there. Some people, they're gifted, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Or where are they tapping into to get the information? And I think that's a really big point. And Peter and I are going to break into that on our next podcast that we'll have on August 1st. Um, and then, when we did the Psychic Zen podcast last night, my Buddha master Nancy Barr and I, that was a big reflection because I've been working with her for 13 years. And the spiritual journey is so dynamic. I'm sure so many of you know, because you are so spiritually inclined, that your own lives are dynamic and different situations happen. I think what most important is, so I have two competing thoughts right now. So I'll start with the first I was going to say and then swing back to this thought. The first thing that I was going to say is that when Peter and I created Cosmic Tea Hour 999, the intention that we had was to bring two things together. Our previous experiences that are now accrued wisdom, and then where are we going forward? Because we are in a great time of ascension. The energy is higher than ever before. People are looking to plug into how to navigate their own spirituality and where it begins and ends, and what does it mean for them, and how do they work with themselves and their gifts, and how do they develop it. My philosophy is that the spiritual determines the personal, and the personal develops the professional. So when we partake in meditating, self-awareness, exploring and understanding our energy, who we are, what we're capable of, releasing, lots and lots of releasing. I think spirituality, or developing our spiritual self, is so much about what we let go of in order to be who we just authentically are. Because who we authentically are is there waiting for us the whole time to discover it. And oftentimes we tap into it without even realizing that we do. So it's a lot about getting conscious about what are you thinking, feeling, believing in every moment, one moment to the other, which determines which dimension you're tapped into, which determines your life experiences, how you feel, what you attract. One thought that I had, and this was in light of working with my spiritual teacher, what we know. We can watch podcasts and we can take notes and watch things over and over again, different people, different scenarios, and accrue an immense amount of knowledge. But if you only accrue knowledge and don't use the knowledge or explore the knowledge for yourself that you have accrued, the knowledge isn't that valuable. If we say, I know something, someone teaches you or offers you something, and you say, I know, but you don't practice it, you won't get the result in your life. So if Peter and I set the intention for Cosmic Tea Hour to teach, to explain, to explore, we can't tell you what you have to do with your life, or we can't make you do it, but you can give the gift to yourself. We can give you things to think about, or our personal experience with something, or a channeled understanding of something that's occurring in the present or the future, or even past tense. And what you decide, aside from watching, you can make the decision to be the audience member. But to really experience something that's profound, we also have to look at, what are you doing with what is given? So Peter and I were talking about structuring, more like some how-tos, and how do we make things that we have practiced for a very long time digestible or helpful to the individuals who are watching. And in light of being on that podcast with Nancy last night, there was such a significant amount of information that I have learned with her, and so many things, so many changes that we've experienced together. Um, and knowing what she was talking about, being able to follow her, there's so much more. That was not even a teaspoon. It was like a drop on the teaspoon. And already what she shared was big. Um, Through experience, we come to understand the value of things. So there was a experiment that was done for business, and the business said, okay, we're gonna break you up into two groups. One of you is gonna focus on the quality of a product, creating a quality product, and the other said, I'm gonna have you focus on making a quantity of product, and you both have a month to get results. You are broken down into these groups. Each group has their own focus, and we'll compare notes at the end of the experiment. So the quality people talked and talked and talked and figured and talked and drew and planned to get the best quality item and make it. And then it took them almost the whole month to create what they wanted, that when they started to make it and it didn't match what they had out, they didn't have a lot of time to kind of remedy the quality product. The people who were only interested in quantity knew that they needed to get to work right away. They needed to create something that could be easily sold and replicated, and they had to sell in quantities. So when they got to work within the first week. And what the experiment showed is that when they did something quantity based, that they were able to learn from what they created, and they were able to uplift the quality of what they were making because they had the experience of making it. So my story, which is really a metaphor, is that by trying, by doing, we accomplish. And we may not know every little spiritual nook and cranny that there is. I mean, the universe is an infinite place. Source is incomprehensible to the human mind. If we try to take it in totality, there is no such thing as making God fit in here. We are part of the bigger whole. The whole, even though it's in here, to kind of conceive everything all at once, there's always going to be a mystery. And I think, as it should, it's the universe, it's source, it's all that is. And things change all the time. Spontaneity in the readings and the energy you pick up, where you plug into, what you plug in there, what the dimensions are. And these are the kind of things that Peter and I wanted to explain, to teach about. I mean, there's so many different spiritual subjects. I mean, you have studied them as long as Peter and I have. You not only have what you had originally learned, but you have the experience that you were able to have, see, understand by starting to study and work with what you've created or what you've done. So that was that. We started Psychic Zen last night, which is the podcast with Nancy Barr, and lots of reflections. So we were talking about behaviors of people. One of the questions that came up was people having certain types of behaviors, and why do they do it, and why do we have to deal with that? And I'd like to point out some of the takeaways that are important. One is when people live their life, how conscious are they? Where are they at in their level of consciousness? Because what you do reflects your level of consciousness, and what others do reflects their level of consciousness. And one thing that I think we should ponder more often is, what did I come in to experience? Because if we look at things from like a lower consciousness or more human experience, we may go through different life experiences and say, well, why is this happening to me? Rather than, what is this showing me? What is this? This is happening for me. Or what did I come in to learn? That's a great one. What did my soul, what was my soul incarnated? And obviously, it's to enjoy life and to represent source and be the light and experience happiness and go through different human experiences to understand these different things spiritually and in the human realm so more acutely or in depth, or to specialize in knowing something. There's a whole variety of what we've come to do, what our purposes are. But how often do you stop and ask yourself when you're in the midst of a situation, what did I incarnate to learn while I was here? Why is okay? So, like, scenario happens. You may not love the scenario that's happening, but we can create a wisdom within ourselves when we explore what when we explore or unpack the meaning or what's behind the what is behind the experience. And then is law of attraction. We really need to take that law of attraction into consideration. What we believe, what we think, what we feel, the unresolved things within us, the things that are in our shadow, the things that are right there and forward. What we get is going to be a reflection of ourselves. It's going to be a reflection of the vibration, dimension, and energy that we're in. If you want, if you're experiencing things that you don't enjoy, that you don't like, before we judge the person standing in front of us, which is so easy, pause. Practice the pause and say, let me put this in a bubble. What is happening here? What transpired here? How did I contribute to this? What does this behavior really indicate? So that we don't get all emotionally corrupt, energetically corrupt, or emotionally invested into a vibration or an energy that A, we don't want to be in, and B, won't be part of the solution, and C, is not really where we want to park our beingness, and D, we don't want to go to that place and then get further down the rabbit hole of attracting more things that are of that like energy, rather than maintaining a positive high vibration of where we want to be and who we want to be. So how do we hold on to the integrity of our own power? So that being said, that's a consideration to also have, and it's because of working with Nancy that I'm able to think along that path and take people. People are not just people. It's not just this person said or that person did. They also represent a type of energy. They represent a dimension or a feature of a vibration. And at any moment in time, all of us, myself included, we're all fluctuating on these dimensions. Some of us, the more practiced you are with your spiritual practice, uh, the more consistent you are in your vibration and frequency, and the easier time you have staying in a dimension of frequency, of vibration and energy that you want to be in, that you enjoy being in, because you attract things to your life that you like rendezvousing with. And that's in part of your purpose with developing your spirituality, because your connection to source, first of all, it's unconditional love, everlasting, eternal, unconditional love. That's one. Who doesn't want to be connected to that? Two, you have an understanding of what's going on around you, physical and spiritual. You connect, you understand. Something that Peter and I were discussing this morning was that when we are tapping into energy, or people, whether it's the psychic ability or the mediumship, what also is there is that when you tap into the higher vibrations, high fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and beyond, the energy itself is intelligent. The collective cosmos, the all that is, source, is intelligent. So just the very nature of the energy acts as a guiding system that when you are truly tapped in, and the higher your vibration is, the purer your energy is, the more concentrated you are in being able to hold and maintain yourself in a dimension, frequency, vibration, you can hear and see and feel and be guided by more and more easily the very intelligence in an atom of the high fourth, an atom of the fifth. And just the energy itself leads you, provides you wisdom and understanding and knowing, the knowings that you're seeking. And it's spontaneous. It's always holding the highest vibration for you, the highest energy for you, the best circumstances, the best opportunities, the best energy, the greatest love, the happiest joy. I think that collectively, more people are waking up to understanding that. And the answers that people are seeking outside, or the feelings or experiences people are seeking on the outside, the way to have access to them or to make the best of them is the relationship that we cultivate on the inside. And we want to talk more about that. We want to share that with you and participate in helping you to create that for yourself so that you live lives that truly, authentically make you happy and enjoy. To understand your power, to understand cause and effect in your relationships, to understand your relationship to source. And I mean, the really wonderful thing is that it's so unlimited that anytime you are participating in it, you um, anytime you are participating in this energy, miracles are found, and we perceive them as miracles, but they're not just miracles. They're what is true of their experiences and natural occurrences that are true for the high fourth, fifth, sixth, and beyond dimensions. And that's what Peter and I created Cosmic Tea Hour 999. That's the intention. Is seriously spiritual, to have spiritual conversations or discuss spiritual subject matters that help you to live a life that brings you into your greatest joy. And we are all in service to each other here in the oneness. And we benefit ourselves to the greatest extent, and we benefit others to the greatest extent. And we experience heightened joy being surrounded and in the energy of love. So that is the pertinent value. And as we are in ascension energy, raising in our vibrational consciousness, and the very energy of all that is with Gaia continues to raise, we will be playing our part in it as we walk the path of our own ascension patterns. And what we do now, what we think now, what we believe now, what we participate, who we participate with, what energy we participate in, will determine where we are at in our own ascension and what we interact with and meld with on our path to continuing to ascend. For myself personally, the higher my vibration is, I feel at home. I feel so at home in it. And it's the most marvelous, wonderful, ecstatic, fantastic feeling that there is, to be in an energy that makes you feel like you're at home. That energy where you can feel the love moving, flowing, bubbling inside of you. You feel the connection between you and others, and that you feel warm. You live in a world that you want to live in. And I'd like to see this world be something that everybody taps into, because it's where we're heading. A couple days ago, Joanna had asked me, Teresa, where do you see what's going on with the world and the energy? Where are we going? What's your take on it? What's your energy that you feel? And then yesterday, when we did the podcast for the America's birthday, past, present, future, where are we going? And we looked at it astrologically. Where we are going depends on us. The individual comes together with other individuals and creates communities. Communities create towns, towns create cities, cities create states, states create countries, countries create the world. So what you do on an independent level affects everything and everyone. And as we all continue to ascend together in a group, we raise the vibrational frequency of the earth and bring the earth into a much more powerful state of love and joy, prosperity, which is what we're here to do. It's what I'm here to do. And there's so many other of us. It's what the masters came in to do. So when you accept that you're a master and that you're here to do this, you don't feel it's not obligatory. It's the nature of your beingness that you're sharing with others. And when you meet others that you can share this with, it just makes you feel this in joy, like bliss, happiness, because you're recreating home on earth, heaven on earth, joy on earth, love on earth, unconditional love. You're sowing the seeds of source into the planet, into all that is, because we're not just affecting our planet, we're also affecting the solar system. We're affecting the energy of everything that's around us. So we have to see how important we are and understand that we are accountable to our life, the energy that we plug ourselves into, how we interact with others, and that together, as we continue to ascend together and work together, we create the world piece by piece. We create the energy of the world and where we're going piece by piece. And I'll leave you off with this. There was a parable of an old man sitting next to water. And the old man says, when I was a young man, I tried to control, or I wanted to impact the world. But I couldn't impact the world. I tried to impact my country. But it didn't work. And then when I couldn't impact my country, I tried to impact my town. But I couldn't impact my town either. And then when I tried to change and impact my family, I couldn't change them either. And now as a man, I'm alone because I tried too hard to dictate and impact everything and everyone. But as I sit by the water, what I understand now is that if I had directed my energy inward and not myself, that I would have impacted my family. And together, my family and I would have impacted my town. And our town would have impacted our country, and our country would have impacted the world. And that was such a powerful parable when I heard it. It stayed with me, obviously. And it expounds the idea that what you do impacts so much, and how we decide to live, the choices we make, what we choose to get caught up in, the voice of our heart or the voice of chatter. Chatter will lead you around in circles. It won't bring you to a result. It'll make you feel confused, tired, lethargic, energy, angry, frustrated. Chatter doesn't lead us to where we want to be. But the voice of our heart has its own vibrational rhythm that we understand is our heart. And our heart brings us into solutions and harmony. And it always, like our high self, holds the very best intentions for us, the very best knowing, the very best guidance. I hope you all have the most magnificent day And like I said, the next podcast will be August 1st at 7 p.m. And I look forward to getting into so many different subjects with you and Peter, with all of you and Peter. We already have like a nice outline created for what we want to discuss with you guys, and it's going to be really great. Thank you so much. You guys have an amazing day.